Good afternoon. The BC and Yukon branch of the Royal Lifesaving Society of Canada is proud to welcome you to its 114th annual Commonwealth Awards for Honor and Rescue. My name is Yuching, and I'm honored to be the MC for today's ceremony. If you're able, please stand to welcome our award recipients, special guests, and dignitaries. If you're able, please remain standing for our national anthem. Thank you. You may now be seated. Welcome to today's ceremony. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered here today on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. Today's ceremony will recognize two groups of individuals: dedicated Lifesaving Society volunteers and courageous citizens who performed acts of bravery to save a life in an aquatic environment. It is now my pleasure to acknowledge distinguished guests joining us today. I ask that you please hold your applause until all names have been introduced, and I invite each guest to stand as your name is read. Sean Hardiman, Vice President. Laura Lee March, Vice President. Isabel Tylone, Vice President. Graham Esplin, Past President. Nicole Liddell, Past Governor and Past President. Ian Robertson, Past Governor, Past President. Ron Aubrey, Past President. Peter Fox, Past Branch President and current National President-elect. Jeffrey Holland, Past Branch President and current National Board Director. Nestor Korchinski, Past Branch President. Len Manuel, Past National President and Past Branch President. Robert Underhill, Retired Staff Sergeant Major. Councillor Sequalia, Squamish Nation. Haven Lubretsky, Acting Mayor, City of Port Moody. Raj Chauhan, Speaker of the Legislative Assembly and Member of the Legislative Assembly. Lucy Maloney, Councillor, City of Vancouver. Rosalind Bird, Member of the Legislative Assembly. Linda Buchanan, Mayor, City of North Vancouver. Mark Sager, Mayor, City of West Vancouver. Richard T. Lee, Councillor, City of Burnaby. Susie Chant, Member of the Legislative Assembly. Chak O, Member of Parliament. Brian Tepper, Member of the Legislative Assembly. Pete Fry, Councillor, City of Vancouver. I'm now pleased to introduce our platform party. We are joined today by Gail Findlay-Shiras, President of the Lifesaving Society BC Yukon Branch. The Honorable Terry Young, Minister of State for Community Safety and Integrated Services. The Honorable Kelly Green, Minister of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness. And Dallas Brandt, Governor of the Lifesaving Society BC and Yukon Branch. I'd now like to call Councillor Sequalia to come to the podium.
On An Hoth and Squalwyn, Quisclake, Quachnomi, Tenoyapan, and Siayite, to Squals, to Seats. I'm glad that you all came here today, all of you, my friends. Kayachtan. When we raise our hands like this in our Coast Salish culture, it means welcome as well as thank you. So I'm welcoming you and thanking you for being here on our ancestral traditional territory of Squamish Okomayok, Squamish Nation, and our shared territories with our families from Tsleil-Waututh and Musqueam. It's an honor to be here today, especially for such a honor and rescue. Our Squamish Nation and our ancestors, for us, the waters were really important. They were our highways and have been important to us since time immemorial. And we've used them, as I said, as our highways to travel. And those waters are not without risk. And today, we're here to honor people who know from the work that they do, that they've helped people who have been at risk within the waters and wherever they've had to be rescued from, and be able to think about other people. Chen Stwite, stand and work together to help one another when to save lives. And so it's really important work, and I raise my hands to all those who have, are receiving an award today. I'm going to just do part of a song from my ancestors, and I'll ask you all to rise, but before you do, I don't want you to have your arms crossed or your hands like this or this, because every human being has an inner energy, and because of the importance today, we want our energy to flow positively and freely amongst each other. And I'll do the song, and then do just a blessing for the ceremony that's going to happen, and then turn you back over to our MC. So now I'll get you to rise. If I see you put your hands together, and I can see because your shoulders will go in, I might come use you for my drum. So don't be the first time I have to do that. So I'll do part of Sequoia, my ancestor I'm named for, Sequoia, Quashaman Sna, my ancestral name Sequoia, and Wanakwi Sna. I'm one of the Squamish Nation counselors, elected counselors, and one of the council spokespersons. And my ancestor lived on the island known as Stanley Park in Huehue, and that's now known as Lumberman's Arch. So I'll ask you to come together in Chomot Squalwyn with one heart and one mind for the good gathering we're gathered for. kakakanak chasiam yon so tanoyap and manman squalwin to squalls to seats. Asking you, Creator, to watch over all your children gathered here today and all of our families, friends and families and communities from the unborn to the oldest. Asking you to help us all with our squalwin, feelings in our hearts, mind, spirit, total being, emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness as we come together for a yet one haltsop and excellent work today to honor people who have helped serve others and rescued them and ensured that they carry on in their lives in a good way. And we're going to honor and hold them up today, asking us to share the words we speak and listen to with Winoxus, with respect, as we share and transfer the knowledge and information of the stories that are going to be shared for every award recipient. Put a blessing on each one of the recipients as well as each one of those who are going to be speaking today. And asking you, Creator and ancestors of everyone in the room, see us safely home at the end of today. Tama Quetzi Snachum, this is the way of my words. Now you can sit down. And I make my apologies. I won't be able to stay. I'm having a very busy day today. So my hands are up to all of you. Tama Quetzi.
Hachka, thank you, Councillor. I'd like to now invite the Lifesaving Society BC Yukon Branch Governor, Dallas Brandt, to bring greetings.
First off, thank you for that warm welcome. And thank you, Councillor Wannock, for the beautiful way of helping us start in a good way. Good afternoon, honored guests, award recipients, and your guests and friends of the Lifesaving Society. Thank you for joining us today, and a special welcome to our other distinguished guests here. As branch governor and a longtime society volunteer myself, I'm truly pleased to be here as we celebrate the commitment of our volunteers and recognize the remarkable courage shown by so many individuals. Today, we honor those who step forward, those who generously give their time, share their talents, and at sometimes place themselves at risk to help others. At the Lifesaving Society, our mission is simple but incredibly important. We believe that drowning is preventable. Drowning prevention is not just a safety issue, it's a public health issue. Across Canada and here in British Columbia, we have an opportunity to strengthen our work by aligning drowning prevention with public health priorities. By doing this, we engage with communities that face the greatest risks. This is true in northern, rural, and remote communities, where drowning rates are higher and rescue efforts are more challenging. By working together with communities and improving access to water safety education, we can make a life-saving difference. We also know that some groups are at higher risk than others. Sadly, drowning rates in Indigenous communities are 10 times higher than in non-Indigenous communities. Also, newcomers to Canada are another group at risk. Our new neighbors, friends, and community members may not ever have had access to water safety education in their home countries. Research shows that newcomers are 4 times more likely to not have swimming skills than people born in Canada. But water activity is a part of living in Canada. Most newcomers plan to spend time in, on, or around the water during the summer. Most Indigenous communities are established adjacent to the ocean, lakes, and rivers. Drowning statistics will only decrease with education. Imagine the difference we could make if every grade 3 student learn the skills that are taught in the Swim to Survive program. These basic skills are taught in a 3-hour session that help children stay safe in and around the water. And the ripple effect of that education that would spread to families and communities in ways that we could only hope for. This idea, if implemented, without question, will save lives. Today, as we recognize the courage of everyday heroes and the dedication of our volunteers, we're reminded that drowning prevention is a shared responsibility. It takes leadership, education, advocacy, and strong community support. Above all, it takes people like you, those who care deeply about the safety and the well-being of others, those who are committed to the mission of ending drowning, and who have the ability to drive meaningful change. Together, through leadership, compassion, and action, we can and will save lives. Thank you again for being here today. Your presence has made this ceremony special for so many of our award recipients. And to the did I lose it? To the Lifesaving Society office team, your time and energy is valued and appreciated. It does not go unnoticed. And finally, thank you for supporting the Lifesaving Society's continued work of drowning prevention. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brandt. I'd like to now invite the Lifesaving Society BC and Yukon Branch President, Gail Findlay-Shiris, to bring greetings.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Ching, thank you, Dallas, and for the beautiful Squamish greeting. I'm honored to be a guest here on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. I have traveled here from the Sowetma'ulaku, where I live, work, and enjoy the beautiful waters around the Shuswap. I am grateful for the opportunity to gather with you all today. To the honored platform guests, dignitaries, society colleagues, award recipients, and the aquatics community, thank you for being here. It's a privilege to welcome you to the 2026 Lifesaving Society Honor and Rescue Awards. Today, we recognize the extraordinary courage of individuals who step forward in a moment of crisis to help someone. We recognize volunteer dedication, people who give their time, knowledge, and care to strengthen water safety in our communities. And we celebrate a shared belief that every life around water matters. Before I do that, I want to acknowledge the incredible work of our branch staff and volunteers. The impact this organization reaches every corner of the province and territory. It only happens because of the dedication of the people hovering here at the sides of the room. Last year alone, 6,499 lifeguards were certified. 4,190 swim instructors were trained. Our WaterWise team delivered water safety education at 54 locations and 28 schools last spring and summer. These are more than numbers. They represent safer swimmers, stronger leaders, and more confident communities. We also saw incredible engagement during National Drowning Prevention Week, with 26 municipalities issuing proclamations and 27 landmarks across BC lighting up blue for World Drowning Prevention Day. Those moments remind us that water safety is a shared responsibility and that we are truly safer together. Another highlight this past year was the return of more lifeguard competitions, including the revival of the Sean Cup Surf Life-Saving Championships after a 17-year hiatus when I was last there. Sport has always been a powerful way to inspire people to develop life-saving skills, confidence, and connection to the water. I know this firsthand. My own journey in aquatics started like many others, in swim lessons. Those lessons led me to swim club, which led to lifeguarding. In fact, I was probably one of the youngest national lifeguards at the time, as I completed my course 2 days after my 16th birthday, just when I had become eligible. Becoming a lifeguard was a huge source of pride. They were, and still are, the coolest of the cool. I was fortunate to work at a handful of community pools in Vancouver, as well as the famed Vancouver beaches, for many years. Those experiences taught me the value of dedication, teamwork, and community, lessons that have stayed with me ever since. In 2005, knowing my competitive background, my friend Tia Townshon suggested we take a weekend trip to Kamloops. Life-saving sport was coming to BC. At the time, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I can say without a doubt, it was the best decision I could make. That decision led me to the Canadian national team, competing at my first Commonwealth Championships in Bath, England in 2006, and staying involved at the international level through my final race in Cali, Colombia in 2013, when Canada was invited for the first time to compete at the World Games. And while those trips may sound impressive, they are not nearly as important as the friendships I made and the lessons I learned. I had the opportunity to learn from the very best surf clubs in Australia and speak with lifeguards in South Africa about how they reach their most vulnerable populations and teach swimming. No matter where I went, the challenges felt familiar. Around the world, we are all working toward the same goal, helping people feel safe in, on, and around the water. What started for me as competitive sport has become a lasting passion for delivering our mission. This work depends on strong communities. It depends on having a diverse spectrum of safe and accessible aquatic facilities around our province and territory, including 50-meter pools and guarded waterfronts, places where schools can bring students for Swim to Survive, where families and friends can learn to socialize and build confidence in the water, and where young athletes in swimming and life-saving sport clubs can grow not only as competitors, but as confident and conscientious leaders. It depends on programs that reach people early and create opportunities to build a lifelong confidence in and connection to the water. That's why today matters. The people we recognize today stepped forward when it mattered most, through their work, their volunteerism, or simply by being in the right place at the right time. They showed courage, compassion, and the instinct to help others without hesitation. As the Lifesaving Society motto reminds us, whomsoever you see in distress, recognize in them a fellow human. So to everyone here, staff, volunteers, community leaders, partners, and aquatic fans, thank you for the role you are playing to build water-wise communities and safer waterways for everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Findlay-Shiris. I'd like to now invite Mr. Kelly Green to bring greetings from the Government of British Columbia.
Thank you, and thank you to Sequoia for getting us started in a good way today. I'm Kelly Green, Minister of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness, and I'm so honored to be with you on the traditional territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people. I'm so glad to be here today, to be part of this special occasion, to formally recognize years of dedicated volunteerism and to applaud the courageous acts of heroism by truly extraordinary people to save others in challenging and often frightening conditions around the water, beside the water, whether that's a lake, a river, or the ocean. As the Minister for Emergency Management and Climate Readiness, I meet people from all walks of life who go above and beyond to help other people, to keep them safe, and sometimes save lives. It's a very special part of my job, and that this day and this special awards has special meaning for me. Because long before I was a cabinet minister, I was trained as a lifeguard. Water safety is personally so important to me. I understand the tremendous responsibility of keeping people safe in the water and the profound impact that one person can have when they see someone in danger and make the decision to respond. From my lifeguard training, I have deep respect for the power of water. Conditions can change in a heartbeat. Being in a position to help means being alert, being prepared, and recognizing when it's the time to act. I'm grateful for the Lifesaving Society for this opportunity to recognize volunteers and courageous rescuers. I feel privileged to be in the company of our award winners today. Through your heroic actions and your commitment, you make your communities and our province a better place to live. So thank you on behalf of the province of British Columbia and also from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green. We welcome Minister Terry Young.
It's always nice to be last, and honored to be here today. And thank you for the beautiful acknowledgement from Squamish Councillor. And also the beautiful riding of Yaletown, which is my home riding here. Now, I want to thank organizer. I know Diamond is here, or the board members, and also my colleagues from the legislature. Brian is here, speaker, and also from different levels of government, from the federal government to municipal politicians. I know Minister Green used to be a councillor, and I know firsthand, because my better half is actually a deputy mayor of Vancouver. I know how the long hours you put into sometimes difficult, challenging, and sometimes it feels like a thankless job. But what you do out there away from your family, your dedication, your commitment, makes this a better province, a better city, and in Chuck's way, a better country. I won't go far into the mechanics of this, but a couple of personal stories. When I was 8, I was living in Hong Kong. It was a kind of rainy day. I was on upper deck of a boat. I slipped across the deck. Partially hit back in my head, and I had a kind of outer body experience. When I opened my eyes, I was next to a big propeller, 3 times my size, and I was lucky to be calm. I wasn't struggling. I didn't know how to swim at 8. So I just kind of took a, relax, and I slowly floating up to the surface of the water. It was dark green. And what had been maybe 15 seconds felt like an hour. And my next door neighbor on the boat, without a lot of regard for safety, jumped in, and here I am today. So I think, many of the people here we're celebrating today was the right time, at the right place, and without hesitation, step in and save somebody else's life. I know Brian and I used to be law enforcement, and so was Bob. When I was in general duty patrol, one of my members was responding to a woman in distress screaming on a 4th-floor balcony. We drove up. Without regard to his safety, he scaled 3 floors, jumped on the balcony, and saved her life. The doctor said, another 35 seconds, she would have died. And I said, now I'm going to write you up, Robbie, for bravery. He go, no, I'm here today because I wanted to be in a profession where we can save lives. And that stuck with me. Not many of us, except for the few reward at the reception today, can actually go to work and say, I saved somebody's life today. And my heart goes out to you for making this province a safer, a better place. It's easy to say the world is imperfect. We know it. It's easy to see harmony and peace and discourse out there happening around the world, wars, despair, destruction. But I think we own it upon ourselves to actually build and celebrate our differences, and build a better society, a better province. That's why we go to work in the morning, instead of being divided by our differences and vilify people who are different than we are, because we all belong in this province, this city, this country. We all choose to be home here, and we should have that sense of belonging. It should not be exclusive to some of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Young. I'd like to now take the opportunity to highlight that there are special greetings from several individuals who couldn't be here. The Honorable Wendy Kochia, Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia. The Honorable David Eby, Premier of British Columbia. The Honorable Curry Dixon, Premier of Yukon. And the Honorable Adeline Weber, Commissioner of Yukon. You'll be able to find their greetings in the program booklet that you received today at check-in. So we thank them for supporting our event. I would now like to introduce our citation reader for the day, Jason McKinnon. Jason is an actor, writer, and voiceover artist based out of Vancouver. During his 25 years in the industry, he's worked with Emmy winners and Oscar winners alike, ranging from Michael B. Jordan to Katherine Hagel, and Jacob Elordi to Pierce Brosnan. As we recognize today's award recipients, he is joining us to share the heroic actions of everyday citizens and some of the contributions from our amazing volunteers. Thank you for being with us here today, Jason. We will now begin our awards presentation. Ms. Brandt will be presenting the first honor awards to recognize the dedicated volunteers who assist the Lifesaving Society in meeting its mandate of safety on the water. The first honor award to be presented today is a certificate of thanks.
We extend our thanks to the dedicated volunteers who supported the 2024 Barnsley Lifeguarding Championships. Their energy and hard work helped deliver a successful and inspiring competition experience. And they are Ryan Busnardo, Sean Chambers, Lucas Cho, Chris Cordova, Aoshen Dan Tang, Benjamin Friesen, Shane Fulton, Henry Gao, Rayleigh Gassler, and Jimmy Hansen.
As the awards are being given out, I want to recognize that Benjamin Friesen, Lucas Cho, and Henry Gao were not able to be here. For supporting the 2024 Barnsley Lifeguarding Championships, we also recognize Sophia Harms, Selena Hepner, Christina Kachkarova, Julie Kaufman, Kaylee Leading, Mitchell Leading, Robin Leslie, Pak Kin Jamie Leung, Zhang Li, and Krista Lee Marie. Unfortunately, Kaylee Leading, Selena Hepner, Mitchell Leading, and Krista Lee Marie were not able to join us today.
For supporting the 2024 Barnsley Lifeguarding Championships, we further acknowledge Misha McDermott, Liam Murray, Jordan Perrys, Michael Rasher, Helen Tan, Riley Tang, and Marcus Yip.
Unfortunately, Misha McDermott, Michael Rasher, and Riley Tang were not able to join us today. I'd like to ask Ms. Brandt to present the next round of awards with us.
And so we recognize the volunteers who contributed to the success of the 2024 Canadian Pool Lifesaving Championships. Their commitment and teamwork ensured a high-quality national event that showcased the strength of life-saving sport in our region. And they are Parang Abomasumi, Alana Doran, Gail Finley-Shiris, Melissa Gillespie, Kiyomi Holman, Diana Noss, Christy Seidner, Wade Thorson, Delilah Townshend, Kim Townshend, Natalie Walshaw, and Ellen Wyachek.
Unfortunately, Alana Doran, Kiyomi Holman, Chrissy Seidner, Delilah Townshend, Kim Townshend, Natalie Walshaw, Parang Abdul Malusi, and Helen Wychek were not able to join us today.
We gratefully recognize the volunteers who contributed their time and expertise to support both the Barnsley Lifeguarding Championships and the Canadian Pool Lifesaving Championships. Their willingness to support multiple events demonstrates a high level of dedication and a strong commitment of time and service, and they are Jim Davies, Andrew March, Laura Lee March, and Anna Marie Skidner.
Unfortunately, Anna Marie Skinder was not able to join us today.
We recognize the following individuals for their short-term service or 2 years or fewer of active involvement with the Society. Through their contributions across a variety of initiatives, they have helped advance the Society's mission and strengthen our work in communities across the region. And they are Marie Bisson, Stephanie Brown, Samantha Bussières, Kari Dobson, Denise Erturk, Hilary Feliciano, Richard Friesen, and Brianne Johnsey.
Unfortunately, Samantha Bussières, Carrie Dobson, Hilary Feliciano, and Richard Friesen were not able to join us today.
Also, for their volunteer service, we recognize Peyton Jenkinson, Shandy, Kari Atsumari, Charlotte Law, Gabby Nichols, Jonathan Noon, Sylvia Pearson, Isabel Tayong, and Tia Townshend.
Unfortunately, Peyton Jenkson, Shandy Carrot-Samuri, Charlotte Law, and Sylvia Pearson were not able to join us today. Our next award to be presented is the Service Commendation, awarded to those volunteers who have dedicated a minimum of 2 years of active volunteer service to the Society. Today, we honor Martin Henderson with the Service Commendation. Unfortunately, Martin was not able to join and attend the ceremony today.
Martin Henderson has served as co-chair of the Sport Advisory Group for the past 2 years, helping guide the growth and life-saving sport in BC and Yukon. Prior to the advisory group's formation, Martin was a dedicated volunteer advocate for sport development in the region. He contributed his expertise as both a judge and situation designer at the 2024 Barnsley Lifeguard Competition and mentored unattached athletes at the 2024 Canadian Pool Lifesaving Championships. His leadership and commitment continue to strengthen the sport community and support athlete development.
Our next award is the Bar to Service Medal, awarded to those who have dedicated a minimum of 8 years of active service to the Society. Today, we honor Danny Berge with the Bar to Service Medal.
Since 2018, Danny has served as an active national trainer, mentoring trainers and instructors across the province. He plays a vital role in delivering the National Surf Lifeguard training on the remote northwest coast of Vancouver Island, helping expand life-saving education in an underserved region. Danny has also served as board member at large for the past 6 years. Through his work, Danny has built strong relationships with the Hesquiat First Nation, earning trust and respect while teaching water safety within the community. Known for his calm and supportive approach, he is a trusted mentor and a strong representative of the BC and Yukon branch.
Next, we honor Riley Huntley with the Bar to Service Medal. Unfortunately, he's not able to join our event today.
Riley Huntley has been a member of the national trainer team since 2021, bringing both expertise and passion to his work in first aid education. Drawing on his academic background and personal commitment to advancing first aid practice, Riley undertook conducting research examining lifeguards' retention of airway management and oxygen administration skills. The findings of this research provided critical insight into program effectiveness and training outcomes. Building on this evidence, Riley played a pivotal role in spearheading the revision of the airway management and oxygen administration program. He authored the foundational draft documents that have directly shaped the newly revised 2026 AMOA program.
Our next award is the Service Cross, awarded to those who have dedicated a minimum of 12 years of active service to the Society. Today, we honor Denise Yorif with the Service Cross.
Denise began her volunteer legacy in Ontario and has served as a national trainer in BC and Yukon since 2018. One of the branch's most active trainers, she regularly teaches and mentors apprentices across multiple program streams. Denise has represented the BC and Yukon branch as a valued member of both Lifesaving Society Canada's Safety Standards Commission and Training Program Commission. Denise generously contributes her time to supporting water safety initiatives across Vancouver Island. In 2024, she led the annual Swim to Survive event at Brentwood College, supporting international students with limited swimming experience. She also volunteers at provincial and national life-saving sport competitions, including the 2024 Canadian Pool Life-Saving Championships. Through countless hours of volunteer service, Denise advances water safety and drowning prevention and stands as a respected leader in aquatics across BC and Canada.
We will now be presenting the Honorary Life Governor Award, awarded to those who have dedicated a minimum of 28 years of active service to the Society. Today, we honor Nicole Liddell.
For more than 3 decades, Nicole has provided exceptional leadership and service to the Lifesaving Society at both provincial and national levels. Since 2017, she has served as branch governor, offering steady guidance in governance, nominations, executive hiring, and human resources advisory. Prior to this, Nicole's service has included positions as an examiner, committee chair, event volunteer, and 7 years as a board director before moving into the role of branch president from 2000 to 2002. Nicole has also served on Lifesaving Society Canada's board of directors in a number of key roles between 2001 and 2012. In 2017, she led sponsorship and fundraising efforts for the World Conference on Drowning Prevention held in Vancouver, helping deliver a landmark international event. Nicole's sustained commitment and leadership have had a lasting impact on the strength and direction of the Lifesaving Society, and for that, we are honored to install Nicole as an honorary life governor.
Our final honor award today is the President's Plaque, selected by the President of the branch for outstanding volunteer service in promoting the Society and its aims. This year's recipient of the President's Plaque is Jim Davies.
Jim is an exceptionally dedicated volunteer. He is an active national trainer who teaches extensively throughout the Lower Mainland. Jim will always step up to help whenever an extra pair of hands is needed to assist the branch's operations, including event and office support. In the past year, Jim was a constant presence at sport and competition events, serving as an official at the DB Perks Pool Life-Saving Championships and Barnsley Lifeguarding Championships, where his enthusiasm, professionalism, and willingness to go the extra mile helped set the tone for others. A committed member of the Sport Advisory Group, Jim contributes regularly and takes on key supporting roles to strengthen events and programming. In 2025, he also joined the Lifesaving Society Canada's National Coach and Officials Working Group, extending his impact to a national level. Jim proudly says he bleeds blue and brings nearly 50 years of lifeguarding experience to his volunteer work. A true original, guided by his strong values and a generous spirit, he supports the Life-Saving Society's mission in everything he does with a consistent can-do attitude. Through every change and transition within the branch, Jim is always the first to ask, "How can I help?"
So very heartfelt congratulations to all the honor award recipients today. I would now like to invite Minister Kelly Green to present the first rescue award. The Silver Medal of Merit is awarded for meritorious service in saving lives in an aquatic emergency. The first recipients of the Silver Medal for Merit are Dane Keller, Foster Walkus, and Travis Wilson.
On August 11, 2025, boat captain Travis Wilson received a radio distress call near Sechelt. He and his team didn't initially see anyone struggling nearby, but wind and rocky water conditions were building and the sun was setting. Deckhand Foster Walkus was posted outside as a lookout, and approximately 10 minutes later they could hear screaming in the distance. Two young women had been out paddling on a board together without PFDs and had lost their only paddle while being blown several kilometers from where they launched. Foster maintained a visual on the scene, and mate Dane Keller joined him on the deck, where he took over the watch so Foster could prepare equipment for a rescue like ladders and life rings. They moved their barge carefully towards the two women in the water, using the vessel to provide shelter from the weather. With extensive safety training, they were able to quickly lift both women aboard, bring them inside, and warm them up while they contacted their families. Due to their quick actions, no medical attention was required, but search and rescue attended the scene to transfer them to their boat to return to shore to their waiting friends and family. For their rapid and well-executed rescue, we honor Travis, Dane, and Foster with the Silver Medal for Merit.
I would like to now invite Acting Mayor Haven Lubrecki and MLA Raj Chauhan to present the next award. The next Silver Medal for Merit is awarded to Laura Lee Wilson.
On May 6, 2025, Laura Lee Wilson was learning how to kayak on Como Lake with the help of her friend Jerry Briggs. Conditions were calm and sunny for a kayak outing until Jerry ended up in the water but stuck within his tipped boat. Not knowing how to swim, experiencing health challenges like COPD, and having a PDF with him but not wearing it at the time, Jerry urgently needed help. Laura Lee, who faces her own health challenges, carefully considered how best to assist him, remaining calm while staying in her boat and using her paddle and some maneuvering to prop him up so he wouldn't end up underwater. A bystander had phoned 911 and police and an ambulance arrived to take over, only after Laura Lee had made significant rescue efforts, including using her first aid training. Jerry suffered from hypothermia and had to have water pumped from his lungs, but remains with us today thanks to these valiant efforts. For her valuable and thoughtful actions, we honor Laura Lee Wilson with the Silver Medal for Merit.
We're also pleased to be joined today by Jerry Briggs, who was rescued by Laura Lee and who is in the audience today. I would now like to invite Minister Terry Young and Councillor Lucy Maloney to present the next award. The Silver Medal of Bravery is awarded to acknowledge rescues involving significant acts of bravery. The first recipients of the Silver Medal of Bravery are Braden Burston and Gemma Cirillo. Unfortunately, Gemma could not be here today. Accepting the award on her behalf is her mother, Shauna Morgan.
On the afternoon of October 22nd, 2025, Gemma and a friend were fishing on the Chilliwack River and ventured to Allison Pool, an outdoor recreation area popular with anglers. They saw a man thigh-deep in water with his hip waders fishing, but unsteady on his feet in the deep moving water. A few minutes later, others called out, "Man in the water," and they saw him struggling as his waders were ballooning with water and weighing him down, putting him at risk of quick drowning. Gemma rushed along the riverbank to try and grab him from the shore, but couldn't reach out far enough. At the same time, Braden was racing towards them to help and teamed up with Gemma on the next steps. Both were able to link hands to form a human chain to reach towards the fisherman and successfully get him to dry land. He made it out of this dangerous situation, cold and wet, but safe and sound, with the help of the rescuers. For their teamwork and swiftness, we honor Gemma and Braden with the Silver Medal for Bravery.
I would now like to invite Minister Kelly Green and MLA Rosalind Bird to present the next award. The next recipients of the Silver Medal of Bravery are Alex Bogue and Josh Nash.
On August 10, 2025, Alex and his girlfriend visited Durrance Lake, where they were met with friends. While they enjoyed the sunny late afternoon, his friends noticed a commotion at the beach. A few men were in the water struggling to swim, and the situation was progressing to drowning. Several were being assisted by those in the water, but it quickly became apparent that there was another man underwater somewhere in the murky waters. Josh, whose wife is fluent Hindi speaker, understood the cries of others who were yelling in Hindi, looking for the additional swimmer, and Josh's family urged him to help. Alex, a trained lifeguard who works at the Commonwealth pool in Saanich, swam towards the situation, and Josh dove underwater and swam through the unclear water until he saw the unconscious man. Together, the rescuers were able to bring this man to the surface and get him back to the beach. Bystanders helped get him up to flat ground away from the beach, and Alex began to assess his state. With no pulse and no signs of breathing, Alex began CPR, assisted by another bystander with healthcare skills and training as a pharmacist, while others helped control the crowd and phone 911. After 5 to 6 rounds of CPR, the man regained consciousness, and they waited for emergency responders to arrive. The man was successfully transferred into the care of paramedics and was in stable condition. For their swift and decisive actions, we honor Alex Bugg and Josh Nash with the Silver Medal for Bravery.
I would now like to invite Mayor Linda Buchanan and Mayor Mark Sager to present the next award. We now recognize Emma Elvin with a silver medal for bravery and Mika Heiskanen with a silver medal for merit.
On February 5th, 2026, Emma was finishing up her workday as a small vessel captain responsible for a water taxi in Indian Arm. As she enjoyed the winter sun on the deck by her home cabin, she heard a man and saw him in the water near a fully submerged kayak. She got back onto her boat and was able to reach him within seconds. Holding onto a rope on a dock, he was breathless, speechless, and in shock. Knowing the basics of cold water survival through Marine first aid training, she knew the 1-10-1 principle, and his smartwatch was showing 32 minutes of intense activity, with it having logged his shock as a workout. She knew she had to get him out of the water immediately if she was going to survive this emergency. She found an extra rope and was able to hoist him out of the water. She helped him undress from his wet, cold clothing and asked essential medical questions. Quickly, in conversation, she established that the man is a diabetic. Luckily, her boyfriend Mika was nearby at their dock and was able to gather towels, blankets, dry clothing, and a glucose meter, and is a fellow diabetic and had these supplies on hand. After bringing the gear over by kayak, they were able to tend to the man's needs and keep him stable until the Coast Guard and ambulance could attend the scene and take him to Lionsgate Hospital for further care. For their collaborative rescue efforts, we honor Emma Elvin with the Silver Medal for Bravery and Mika Heiskanen with the Silver Medal for Merit.
I would now like to invite MLA Kelly Green and Councillor Richard T. Lee to present the next award. The next recipients of the Silver Medal of Bravery are Indiana Gerard, Chloe He, and Sophia Jaceman.
On July 31st, 2025, a family from South Korea was enjoying a paddleboarding activity on Alouette Lake in Maple Ridge. The parents and their daughter were not wearing life jackets and did not know how to swim. After they fell into deep water, 3 teenage girls, Chloe, Sophia, and Indiana, were ready to assist. Indiana, a Bronze Star Award holder, and Chloe and Sophia, swimmers and paddleboarders, acted. They rescued the mom and daughter and brought them back to land where first responders could assist as a bystander called 911. They then searched for the father who could not be located and was underwater. They returned to the location in the following days to provide eyewitness accounts to assist police in the investigation, showing strength and resilience despite this very emotionally challenging situation. Police located the deceased man a few days afterwards, and the girls' brave efforts helped bring closure and clarity to the situation for the 2 surviving family members. For their selfless rescue and continued efforts to support the family, we honor Chloe He, Sophia Jazamian, and Indiana Gerard for the Silver Medal for Bravery.
I would now like to invite MLA Susie Chant and MP Chak Au to present the next award. The next recipient of the Silver Medal of Bravery is Cole Howie. Unfortunately, Cole was unable to attend today, and accepting the award on his behalf is Lori Ann Drew.
While he was boarding BC ferries as a vehicle passenger on Denman Island on November 15, 2024, Cole heard cries for help. He jumped out and ran towards the ferry ramp where he saw a pickup truck sinking into the water in these early morning hours with its taillights glowing in the dark. He jumped into the water on top of the truck as it was sinking into the deep water to help the passengers. The BC Ferries crew nearby threw him a rope with a life ring on it to pull others back to dry land, and he used it to assist a passenger who was coming in and out of consciousness. Remarkably, and this is the second time the Lifesaving Society has recognized Cole. He was also awarded a Silver Medal for Bravery in 2016 for a previous water rescue incident. The second award continues to acknowledge his incredible commitment to step in when others are in need. For these efforts, we honor Cole Howie with the Silver Medal for Bravery.
I would now like to invite MLA Brian Tepper and Councillor Pete Fry to present the next award. The next recipients of the Silver Medal of Bravery are Heather Jones and Paul Rushton.
On May 7, 2023, a car collision sent a car into the icy Nikamekel River in South Surrey. First on the scene were Paul Rushton, an off-duty Burnaby firefighter, and Heather Jones, a Surrey lifeguard who was ready to help. Paul and Heather immediately entered the water and tried to assist the vehicle driver and passenger. The vehicle occupants were stuck in a submerged vehicle in deep water and in medical distress. Paul did chest compressions through the sunroof on the driver as Heather assisted and tended to the second person in the vehicle. Soon they were joined in the water by an RCMP constable and 2 Surrey firefighters. Together, everyone was able to get the patients out of the vehicle back to dry land so paramedics could assist as they arrived. The vehicle driver and passenger made a full recovery thanks to the luck of being helped so quickly by an off-duty first responder and an aquatic safety professional with skills to offer, and shortly thereafter by on-duty emergency responders. For their skillful and bold rescue, we honor Paul Rushton and Heather Jones with the Silver Medal for Bravery.
Unfortunately, Heather was not able to join us today. I would now like to invite Minister Young to present the next award. The final recipient of the Silver Medal for Bravery is Sam Zulniak.
On July 6, 2025, Thompson Rivers University student Sam Zeleniak was playing spike ball on a Kamloops beachfront. He and his friends saw 3 men in the Thompson River and left their game to see if they needed help. They quickly realized the men were drowning and struggling against a strong current in the water. As another friend realized he didn't have the strength to swim against the current and rescue the drowning men, Sam jumped into the water to help. He used his strong swimming skills from competing all levels of childhood lessons and physical strength from playing sports like with the Kamloops Storm junior hockey team. He brought one man to safety, guiding him to remain calm and afloat along as he pulled him back to shore. He returned for a second rescue to pull another man out of the water, assisted at that point by Miles Roll as they brought him to shore safely. Unfortunately, a third man, an international student at TRU, tragically lost his life that day in the river. However, for Sam's willingness to help others and complete rescues during an extremely difficult incident, we honor Sam Zeliniak with the Silver Medal for Bravery.
I will now ask the branch president, Gail Findlay-Sherris, to present the next award. The Water Safety Excellence Award acknowledges unwavering commitment to water safety, and today it is presented to BC Ferries. Accepting this award on behalf of BC Ferries is Kazumi Kobayashi and Michelle Latour-Renaud.
BC Ferries continues to provide leadership and safety in British Columbia's waters as their vessels and staff enable people to travel throughout our province. Their staff training enables them to assist in a variety of usual and unusual incidents, stepping in to rescue people when needed. On November 15, 2024, 2 people were in a pickup truck on Denman Island. Their vehicle was traveling down a hill near the local BC Ferries terminal when they hit a railing before falling into the ocean through the barricade. BC Ferries employees Gary Molt, Bryce Daniels, Grant Siz, Kazumi Kobayashi, and Michelle Latourneau, also assisted by terminal operations colleague Fred Pugh, took quick action. A passenger was able to climb out of the truck onto its roof and be pulled up as the vehicle continued to sink deeper into the water. With the help of a bystander, Cole Howie, who jumped into the water, staff were able to pull the second person who had been on the vehicle onto dry land with the assistance from a life ring. Emergency services assisted the vehicle passengers shortly thereafter, thanks to their decisive steps to save these individuals. With gratitude for their commitment to water safety, we honor BC Ferries with the Water Safety Excellence Award.
I'll now ask Branch Governor Dallas Brandt to assist with the next award presentation. The next award presented is the M.G. Griffith Award. This award is given to rescuers who have applied skill and knowledge gained through the Lifesaving Society's programs to aid a victim in an aquatic emergency. Today, we are pleased to honor Alex Bogue, Indiana Gerard, Heather Jones, Dane Keller, and Paul Rushton. Sure, I think. Our final award of the day is the Governor's Gold Medal. The Governor's Gold Medal is chosen by the BC and Yukon Branch Governor and is presented to the most heroic rescue of the year. This year's recipient is Emma Elvin. Congratulations to all award recipients. Last year, there were 41 drownings in BC and the Yukon. That is 41 too many. The committed volunteers and brave rescuers recognized today played a key role in preventing even further fatalities, and we sincerely thank them for their courageous and dedicated efforts. Drowning is a pressing public safety issue, but is also preventable. This year, National Drowning Prevention Week takes place on July 19th to 25th. We encourage everyone to participate in water safety events across the BC and the Yukon. As we come to the end of today's ceremony, I would like to thank our citation reader, Jason McKinnon, our audiovisual team, Val McHugh and Catherine Grant, our bagpiper, Rebecca Mayer, our RCMP escorts, branch staff for their efforts in planning this event, the Honor Awards Chair, Ron Aubry, and the Rescue Awards Chair, Lori Andrew. On your way out, please make sure to pick up a copy of the award citations booklet, which has all the rescue stories you heard here today. We now invite you to join us for refreshments available in the back of the room. But first, please stand as our platform party is led out. Thank you for attending, and please stay safe around the water.